Hello, Planet Watchers. Welcome to Cancer. Hi, Mary Jane.
Hello, Christi. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you. I can't believe we're at Cancer already.
I know already I'm
Year
getting
is
dizzy from
flying.
the solstice thinking about the earth tipping over yet again.
Oh
Every time is the first time and it always feels very strange.
my God. So yeah, there was the eclipse, and then there was the same day there was like a comet came ridiculously close to the Earth. The same day there was also this planetary alignment. And then since then, there have been solar flares. We had another planetary alignment on the 3rd of June. And
Right.
it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like the skies are going crazy or something.
I know it feels a little like a roller coaster these days.
Yeah.
Any astronauts that are stuck up there in the ISS, I feel kind of sorry for them watching all this stuff going around,
Yes. I'm getting astrological whiplash.
honestly. That's it. That's it. And we're not done yet.
We're good.
Uh,
God. We're not
oh
done.
no, it's interesting. It's a this period of Cancer. Well, it's always very exciting. It's a it's a cardinal sign,
Hmm.
a water sign. Now, the cardinal signs are peaks of energy. This is where things start. This is where we get to look at some new projects. We feel this incredible push ahead. And these cardinal signs are extremely potent in things we want to establish. So the same is true in Cancer. Now, the whole idea of the sign of Cancer has to do with parenting, nurturing, family, business, looking at our own parenting of ourselves. Are we taking good care of ourselves? Are we getting past old family feuds, old family attitudes, or attitudes that we've had as children, or even young adults? These can last a long time. But this is an excellent time to sort of take the pulse. How am I doing? Am I evolving? Am I being turning into a decent adult human being that other people can relate to? And so this is the idea of relationships and especially family ties are extremely important during this period. So that's how things get started in Cancer. Now, this particular start is a little bit violent. I've got to say there are some very strange things that are setting the setting the mood, setting the scene for other things that are going to be going on a little later that seem to be getting easier as time goes by. But just getting in here on the 20th of June, we've got the Sun and Venus that are both square to Neptune. This creates some confusion in our love lives, especially, and also fixing goals. When as soon as we're talking about a square to Neptune, everything gets really fuzzy. And with the sun, we can feel as though there's a serious part of us that's absent in making choices, in showing our tastes. This is not a wonderful time to be going out and buying a new couch, for instance, or anything that's going to take some aesthetic choices to make. Because we just don't really know what we want, or we're not onto making good decisions in that department. As far as relationships go, Venus is always active here and is not only square to Neptune here initially, but is also in a 150-degree angle to Pluto. This says, I don't know where I'm going, but I've got to get there really fast. So,
Hey.
so it's just ripe to make all kinds of very strange decisions, actually. And this very first week, we're talking about the first days of Cancer. At the same time, Mercury is going to be coming into a semi-square with Uranus. This is until the 23rd of June. So be very careful in again in what you're saying, in our arguments, in presenting our ideas. also out there driving and traveling around. It's kind of a hectic time with any kind of attitude. Mercury, Uranus is a little bit crazy, and we don't always put our feet in the right place or our tongues for all that. So it's an easy time to get involved in arguments that have no real reason to exist. But again, we're involved with family dealings, and the moon is being very nasty through this first week, making squares to Saturn, some squares to Juno. Pluto is opposite Vesta, is in semi-square to Juno. It's all acting up to make for a great deal of family strife. So while we're stuck here in this time when we're supposed to be making nice in our family ties, it just doesn't look like it's very easy to do. It's an excellent time to practice self discipline, a lot of diplomacy. You don't want to say everything you think. You don't really have to. Let this kind of ride out, because the week afterwards, after the 25th or so, things are going to be much easier to kind of take care of. Although we've got Saturn that's opposite to Juno all month long. Neptune is opposite the black moon all month long. Uranus is opposite to Pallas Athena all month long. These are irritations as far as keeping and choosing and keeping a mate, for instance. What to do with one you've already got. There will be a lot of thinking, a lot of coming together and breaking apart this month. I think doesn't look particularly healthy, and not always easy to connect in court. Uranus, that's opposite Pallas Athena, is going to create stress in our litigations, in our contract dealings, in any trials, jurisdiction that we're waiting to accomplish. So it's going to be kind of a difficult month as far as just pure getting things done on the home scene looks particularly difficult. However, we've got some very nice things coming up, and I want to talk about those too a little bit later. I've got to say, most of them seem to be coming on after the 1st of July. So yeah, we're going to sit out this next week or so until we get into some easier, gentler waters. But one movement I like a lot, as far as picking and choosing and getting along with our various mates, partners, is a very nice aspect between Venus and Mars that we saw actually for a long time in during Taurus and in Gemini as well. This connection is still going on until the 5th of July, and has some very nice dates as far as fixing things that have been broken, or getting our relationships on a new level, new possibilities in our relationships. And also the healing process can go on very nicely, especially over the holiday weekend, the 4th of 8th of July. Now the new moon is in there on the 6th, and will be definitely helping Venus to get along, to find out some new ways of getting along with our partners, with our lovers, with our children, with people who are close to us. Venus and Mars can't go wrong. And with Uranus there in the middle, why it's a time again to try out new rules, try out some new ideas. Maybe there are new ways to get together that we haven't come up with. So this one, that's a period, that first week and around the holidays in America, looks very nice for that kind of going on. Now, I have to come back to this Mars that's coming into tight conjunction with Uranus from the 1st until the 29th of July, the whole time. It's a bit explosive. Now we can use this, as I said, to try out new things, to try out new, especially with this nice help from Venus. Why, we're going to be able to try out some new styles of relationships. but the conjunction in itself is a bit explosive, and you'll want to be very careful, especially when the moon's coming down on here on the 23rd of July, the 29th of July. We have a moon that's not helping a lot, actually. And Venus or Mars will be changing sign and going into Gemini finally on the 20th of July. So Mars in Gemini is already very fast. This is fast on the ground. We get back in the idea of Gemini in movement, in mobility. Be very careful in driving and in your various displacements. Um, in sports as well, you'll want to be careful to warm up, take care of your body as you're doing sports. This is important through this period. Can be very useful for a few things, but it's like the fireworks, you know, they have to be carefully handled.
Okay, good
So
point.
yeah, it is. It's important. Now, this Venus is going to be doing another number. Is in square to Chiron, to Eris, and also to Hygia from the 1st until the 13th of July. Now, I don't like this so much for certain types of relationships. Venus that's square to Chiron, first of all, is creating tests, creating situations that have to be calmed, that have to be treated. And these often appear to be sort of tests in a relationship. We're going to see a lot of that. That's
Are you sure
especially
this didn't happen like 10 days ago?
is that what you think?
Just out
Yeah,
of
I know
curiosity.
you've had some traffic.
I've
Well,
had some traffic.
this is still in front of us, so I don't know. The moon is hitting on this on the 6th of July. Again, sort of complicating this wonderful period of conciliation. It looks a little more difficult with the visit of the moon on this attitude. At the same time, though, and I find it very helpful that Venus is finally coming into a very nice trine with Neptune and with Saturn. So this is a time when our dreams can be realized. We have a sort of a reality check. What's possible? What's desirable, and how can we finally put all these different indications together. So this is a very nice time. It's difficult as far as recognizing relationships, but there's a lot there that's saying we can fix this. We can build on what's existing or these new elements that come into play. I think with that in mind, it's going to be very interesting. And the help from Saturn and Neptune here um, is going to be very valuable in creating some answers in women's health issues. I don't know what's going on. Some research seems to uh, live some sort of breakthrough through here. And yeah, I think this could be a very nice time that we'll hear about a little later. But then from the 1st to the 13th of July, things are going on.
Well,
Things are
because
very,
the Supreme Court just ruled on um, the abortion pill. So that's interesting that, I mean, this is still ongoing. Like,
uh-huh.
yeah. Um, so yeah, so the Supreme Court um, is ruled that the abortion pill can be dispersed, but there's going to be appeals. So this is interesting.
But yeah, it's very interesting, and I think this period through here, especially with the new moon on the 5th of July, is going to be very, very interesting in this particular movement, in this particular decision. We'll keep an eye on it. Could be very important.
Yeah, this could be very important. And really, it was only granted, or the decision was only made on a technicality. So from what I understand, and so there, it's just open for reprisals, and it's open for,
Oh, sure. The argument or counter arguments. Of course. Of course.
right,
Well, we're getting in as far as treating medical issues, I'm going to say.
right.
Mercury and the moon are going to help out considerably. At the same time, there, the 6th and 7th of July, Mercury is in conjunction with the moon, vice versa, and a lovely sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter, that represents, among other things, legal questions and also medical questions. So we're
Mm,
going to see a period that's especially nice on the 12th as well. That's going to be excellent for all kinds of business connections. This is a time to be negotiating. This is a time to be signing new contracts, making and breaking deals. It looks very, very potent through, well, from the 6th, we'll say, to the 12th of July. So this is excellent to get really business done, and especially signatures. Mercury is very useful in negotiation and also signing important papers.
right, right.
Yeah,
So
this is very useful.
if we can switch gears a little bit and look more
Uh-huh.
globally, what's going on, like Gaza, Ukraine, any other hot spots, United States politics? I mean, a lot of our viewers are from here. So
Sure,
what's going on
sure.
in the world that we need to know about?
Well, right. And I think one of the big ones, one of the big deciding elements through here is going to be this full moon that's already on the 21st of June. We're really opening the gates of Cancer under a full moon that looks, with the moon here in Capricorn, where it doesn't really like to be, she gets extremely authoritative. She gets extremely bossy. She's opposite at this point. Let's see, she's opposite the sun, of course, but also Venus and Mercury. So we're going to see a lot of decisions being made. We're calling, I think people will feel as though they need to call upon experience. They need to call upon uh, quiet strength. And
Mm,
this could be extremely useful in making any kind of decisions through the American election, I'm thinking.
I
So
hope.
this is going to be a very useful full moon and will continue until the new moon that's later in July. The attitude is there again and again in July. It's this idea of with the help of Saturn, calling on experience, calling on good sense, and with the help of Pallas Athena, calling on the legal system to help us make decisions. So
Yeah, that's
yes, I think this is going to be a very useful time in the election period. This could also be a very useful time with a little luck. This could also be a very useful time in negotiating these different wars.
right. Well, you mentioned
Gaza's tricky.
sorry to interrupt. You mentioned the full or the new moon on the 21st. Of course, the next day is the solstice.
Well, the
And,
full moon, it's the full moon on the
sorry,
21st.
full moon on the
Yeah.
21st.
Oh, the
And
solstice is already the 20th,
yeah, so it's like right on the heels of the solstice.
for
Is
sure.
going to I don't know, is that significant in any way?
It's, well, every full moon is important. Not necessarily that it has to do with the first degree of Cancer and Capricorn. These two degrees have their own esoteric sense that I honestly haven't looked at yet. But I involving the first degrees, there's always a note of urgency. This is something that is going to be pushing more than ever in these cardinal signs. And so it's really an energy that's extremely potent with that. And there is a sense of urgency needing to decide something that will carry through actually through the month, I think, and certainly until the new moon in on the 5th of July.
Right, right.
So yes, there is a certain certain involvement with the solstice, but only because it's so close to these first degrees.
Yeah, that's what I was. Okay, I see. Yes, I see. All
Uh,
right. Now you were saying about Gaza.
well, we've got some periods that are excellent as far as negotiation, as far as, again, fixing broken relationships.
Mhm.
We're getting into a place where we can get some things done, especially through this, well, the week of from the 4th until the 7th of July, certainly, through the 12th even. So yeah, let's use this. This could be so wonderful. Uh, I think this it's now or never, you know. I don't know if in the States you followed the movement, the huge caucus that was held here in Switzerland
Oh,
this last
G7?
weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the G7. Yeah, yeah. We were
it was
followed
well,
it.
it was gee everybody. And yeah, because there were, I don't know how many presidents were there. Kamala Harris was there. Everybody was there. There were, I think, 40 countries that were present there. And so they're all looking for a way out, a way to deal with this.
Mhm.
And I don't know why things not working.
Hmm.
Anyhow, so yeah, I'm thinking everyone sort of sat back and applauded politely hoping for the best. You know, it wasn't just a huge, big signing affair, but I think they got a lot of things said and done. And yeah, we're just hoping that finally, uh, at least they got the Ukrainians managed to put their issues on the table. Of course, they had no arguments coming from Russia that wasn't there at all. But
Right.
they managed to put out and receive a lot of kudos, a lot of support too, from the countries that were there. So yes, I think with that in mind, there was some progress. At least the table looks more logical. The arguments are presented, and we'll have to see. We'll just have to see. Uh, I don't know. Russia's not the most cooperative country that we know, and so they somewhere in there they've got to say, well, yes, maybe we can deal with some of these arguments. It's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. 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 And I recently the United States was able to find a way to send extra money to Ukraine in that, in the form of
Yes,
military support. So that's
for
helpful.
sure.
I'm just chagrined that this is going on this long.
I know. I know.
Ridiculous.
It's just odd. Well, you know, when you look at I always come back to the the uh recycling of Pluto. Pluto's that's entered now into Aquarius. The last time we got involved with this, which was another heavy duty revolutionary time, right? But let's not forget that the American Revolution took 13 years to get decided.
Okay,
You know,
fair. That's fair.
that's
Yeah.
fair. And the French Revolution as well went on for 5 years, you know, it's just endless. So, you know, now it's all television and hype and let's wrap this thing up in an hour and a half like your decent war movie, right? But it's just not going to happen like that.
That's true, but the United States was not yet a sovereign nation trying to declare its independence from, the French Revolution. This was part of the country said, we're not having us anymore. So
Yeah,
the problem with Ukraine and Russia is Ukraine was a sovereign nation, had
sure.
been part of Russia. Now Russia's trying to get it back. I mean, this is
I
ridiculous.
know it's just so ridiculous. And the same is true to a certain extent in one reading of the question in between Israel and
Right.
Palestine. You know,
That's messy. That is messy.
that is just messy because nobody knows how to draw those lines. You know, they keep being drawn and they keep subtracting land the Palestinian state, and it's just a right mess. They've never had a proper government either for the longest time. And so, how to handle this.
I'm
And
afraid that
that's, yeah.
yeah, I'm afraid that this situation in Palestine, Gaza, Israel, like the whole area is just going to take a
Oh,
very long time
a
to,
very long time.
yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, with this idea of cancer, I come back to this, the nurturing state of Israel, and
Mhm.
they may go through a sort of a
Like,
dark night of the soul through here, and be looking at what they're doing, at whom they're trusting, and finally maybe making some other decisions that are going to be a little more functional for everyone concerned. I don't know. That's my Venus square Neptune
yeah,
dream. But you have to start somewhere.
we do.
So yeah, that's a strange situation. I don't know if we're going to settle that astrologically in any near future.
All right. All right. But things seem a little hopeful for Ukraine this summer.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Forward.
so too. There will be money pouring and there will be support. I don't think anybody's getting involved with ground support, but at least getting materials to them, which is already
Oh,
critical.
right, right. Now, I know it's possible to do, and I know you do, charts for an entire country or an entire state, region, et cetera, et cetera. So what's it looking like for Russia right now?
Oh, Russia's an important Scorpio state, right?
Oh, for crying out loud. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And now with this, again, this movement of Pluto is going to set up, it's going to take time, but it's setting up new rules, new way of that's they're going to have to adapt. And so, yeah, I'm kind of hopeful that we're going to see with time some changes in the Russian state. I don't want to wish ill on anyone, but I kind of wish Putin would disappear one way or the other. You
Yeah, but
know,
he's like Kleenex. Dictators are like Kleenex. Another one will pop
uh,
up immediately afterward.
yes, yes, that's it. That's it. And especially there, they seem to go from one totalitarian state to another totalitarian
Right.
state. And it's as though they can't figure out anything else. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think this movement of Pluto, which is the ruling planet of Scorpio after all, which has a lot to do with making and breaking of totalitarian situations, systems, will show up and will finally just call upon a change in venue. I don't,
Right. Right. And Pluto is in retrograde now, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that causes its own problems going
Oh,
back.
sure. Well, yeah. This happens every year as the sun and the rapid planets come opposite. The retrograde effect is the movement of the sun that is that makes this planet look as though it's moving backward, when in fact it's just the sun that's moving forward.
Hmm.
So this is going to happen, for a few months every year, and we just have to deal with that. But when these retrogradations are active, it's again a time of looking back, of taking stock, of seeing what's working, what's not working. So
Hmm.
maybe this is speaking to some people out there, and I'm thinking especially of some of Putin's dear friends, that maybe they're not that thrilled with what's going on, with what they're seeing.
Good point.
So, again, as you say, this would just leave a space for a new dictator, but can't be worse, as close as I can tell.
Well, that's true. Well, oh, I don't know if I'd rush to say that though.
I don't know either, to tell you the truth. But yeah, so we'll just see what this Pluto can get done. in this huge country that is so out of touch. The other problem is that people in Russia just don't have uh, outside information. They're
That is a huge
totally,
problem. All they know is
totally
state media.
sure. Yeah, that's it. And that's not too healthy either.
No, it's not too healthy.
So I don't know. We're going to have to wait on that one.
So anything else we need to know about the period of Capricorn? Anything else coming up that bears mentioning?
I did want to, I dwelt a little bit on the square going on from Mercury to uh, the Uranus Mars conjunction. This with Mercury coming square, and that's from the 14th to the 28th of July. Um, we just got to be really careful driving, choosing vehicles. I'm thinking this is not a wonderful time to be buying and selling cars and motorbikes or whatever you're doing. It's also a time, there are some nasty dates there. The 16th of July and the 22nd look particularly difficult. But it's also a period that's extremely argumentative.
Mm,
This is not a time to be, I don't know, sending out processes for procedures for new court dates. Just when you're feeling hot, chill out, see if your arguments are sound in whoever you're trying to deal with. It looks because you can tell yourself too with Mercury square that you're in charge of the language you use. And it's important during these squares to maybe not say everything that you're really thinking. Thinking over what your arguments should be and will be, and line up things a little more gracefully to carry on a proper debate.
yeah.
This seems extremely important on a conversational level, and certainly as far as taking good care with your driving. With if you're going long distances, be careful of. You're going to see all kinds of problems with the roads, with detours, with all kinds of things like that going on, all kinds of works going on, and so this always takes a bit of patience
Mm,
as we're
advice.
out driving.
Right.
It's like
So,
road rage, just total road rage.
yes, when the temperatures go up, so do emotions.
That's it, and it just is so silly that I'm looking especially at the 15th and 16th of July with this in mind. But the whole period is kind of tight there through the last 2 weeks
Yeah.
in July.
Oh, my
Just
goodness.
be real careful out there. What you're saying and where you're driving.
Good to know. Good advice. Good advice. So, thank you so much for this perspective on Cancer. It's going to be a hot month. It's going to be a volatile
It
month.
is. It's hot out there. We
And
just
as
gotta cool
always,
off.
we just got to cool off. So as always, be kind, keep your head about you, watch where you're putting your feet, that kind of thing.
Patience, patience.
See you again in my sign, Leo.
Yeah.
soon.
Come back and see us, y'all.